Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs, Seattle. The only problem is you got to face the defending champion Colorado Avalanche in the first round. Will their stay last longer than the, quote, waste of 8 days that Daryl Sutter talked about with the Avs facing off against the Nashville Predators last year in the first round? I'm not so certain, Pete. And what is a path? Is there a path for the Kraken to not only advance, but make this a long series?
I think there is a path, and it probably looks like limiting the damage of the Avalanche's top stars and getting better goaltending than we've come to expect from the Seattle Kraken.
Attaching an anchor to Nathan MacKinnon, maybe? Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, the likelihood of that happening is insanely low. I think that this is probably the most lopsided series of the first round, and I expect it to be pretty quick in Colorado's favor, especially because they are more healthy than they've been at any point in the season, even with Gabe Landeskog out for the playoffs. And Colorado just seems like one of those teams like Tampa Bay in the past where, okay, the playoffs are here, flip that switch, this is a different team. And they are going to be a monster, I think, in the playoffs. And we saw it last year. Maybe a worse team this year than last year, but not by much. A lot of those pieces are still in place, and I expect Colorado to give a really hard time to the Kraken because they are a flawed team, and I do feel a little bit bad because they made a massive jump from year one to year two, and now their prize is the Colorado Avalanche. It seems like maybe they deserved a little bit better, but hey, that's the name of the game sometimes. I think this is going to be a quick series in Colorado's favor.
Yeah, I agree. It's a quick series. I'm going to bust out the broom and say that the Avs win in a sweep, 4-zip. I think there's a factor of the Kraken are just kind of happy to be here, that getting into the playoffs was a massive check mark for them in their second season. It's an incredible accomplishment, and the year-over-year achievement, as you mentioned, from one of the worst teams in the league last year to being a playoff team is certainly something to write home about if you're a Kraken fan, and the future is bright. But I look at this team and I say so much of what they did accomplish this year is based on incredible shooting percentages that they're going to have a tough time duplicating, not just in the playoffs, but next season as well. So they had some unexpected success from some players hitting goal totals that I certainly didn't see coming. That can't cover up, I think, and last in a playoff series, and not when your goaltending is as bad as the Kraken's was. Again, sub 900. Look, the Avs proved last year you can win with mediocre goaltending, but you can't win with mediocre talent, and that's just the disparity that I see between these two teams.
Yeah, that was an exception to the rule last year for Colorado. And you mentioned the shooting percentage of Seattle. They got, for most of the season, higher than expected results, whereas Colorado was kind of around the exact expected result. I might anticipate a jump in that based off of Nathan MacKinnon being a playoff monster and just, the top tier talent that they have that Seattle cannot match. And they may have better depth, but we've seen in years past, especially with a guy like Nathan MacKinnon, he can take over a series and be the difference. And I think that we can expect to see that happen here.
Nate Dogg firing on all cylinders, a hat trick to close out the season, leading the Avs to a Central Division championship. And when you consider all the injuries that they had this year to key and critical players, look out.